Okay, so now let's take a look at question number 2. Which positions are correct when caring for clients undergoing therapeutic procedures? Select all that apply. So we know that the topic of the question is what? Positions, right? So let's try to write down what we know about some of those positions. Just like a few of them. I'm just gonna do something like this. We're gonna go back to geometry. So 90-degree angle, if our patient is sitting up like this, that is what? High Fowler's, right? HF, I'm just gonna abbreviate here. And then at that 45-degree angle, that is Fowler's. And then 30-degree angle, that's semi-Fowler's. And then what else do we have? That's like the main ones. Supine position, prone, lying flat, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that we have covered in nursing school, right guys? But these are a few of the main ones. Now that we wrote down what we know about the topic, what is the question asking? Which positions are correct when caring for clients undergoing therapeutic procedures? This is so important because it's not telling us to avoid doing something, right? Like the previous one. It's saying which ones are correct. So this is so important because NCLEX is going to switch this on you. Like, oh, teaching is correct when, or we know that teaching is incorrect when the patient states. So be very careful. And a little tip that I use when this comes about in questions, when it's like a negative inquiry or a positive inquiry, I put a plus sign on my paper or my whiteboard that they provide for you during the exam, just to keep your brain on track, because they will flip the script on you, I'm just saying. So which positions are correct when caring for clients undergoing therapeutic procedures? So we're looking for the good ones here. We're looking for the correct ones. Now let's show you the answer choices and go from there. Okay, so now that we have our answer choices up, pause the video, answer it for yourself, and then we'll go through it together. Now the one that I eliminated first was definitely number 3. Okay, Fowler's after a cardiac catheterization. So we know that Fowler's is about 45-degree angle, right? So the patient is sitting up like that, maybe a little bit higher. But after a cardiac cath, why would we have this patient in a Fowler's position? Why would that pose a risk? Why is that not correct? Because that would put the patient at risk for bleeding, for a hematoma. Because if we remember correctly, that when the patient is in the OR or in the cath lab, they are sending like, oh wait, not a Foley. Uh-oh. They are putting in a hollow type of tube or a catheter inside the artery, femoral artery or vein in order to examine the heart, okay? So when they come back, they need to be lying flat just like that. They should not be sitting up because then they will develop a hematoma. So number 3 is incorrecto. Keep in mind, the patient should be lying flat like this for about 4 to 6 hours. Make sure you know that. Okay, now let's take a look at the next answer choice we want to eliminate, which would have to be number 2, left side after liver biopsy for a client diagnosed with hepatitis. So let's draw this out. Here is the patient, and those are the hands, left side. So if the patient is lying on the left side, what are we exposing? The right. Why? Because this is where the liver is. Okay, this is a really bad drawing of the liver, and I'm hoping that no one has a liver this size. But if we are lying on our left side, we expose the liver in order for the doctor to take the biopsy. And then after that, the patient should be lying on the right side. Why are we doing this? Because we have to apply direct pressure so that we don't have bleeding, because we just took a biopsy. This is so dangerous. So that's why number 2 is incorrect. They should be lying on the right side after a liver biopsy. On the right side. See, doesn't this help just to draw the pictures? If you get a brain fart on the NCLEX, just take out your whiteboard, take out your sheet of paper and draw these out. I promise you it will help you. So let's take a look at the rest of our answer choices. Do they look good? Should we keep them or should we just toss all of them out and just go home and drink hot cocoa? No, that would be nice. But number 1, high Fowler's during a paracentesis for a client diagnosed with cirrhosis. That is a correct answer. Let me use a different color. Let's use green. That is a correct answer. Why? So if they're sitting up in high Fowler's, that's like what, a 90-degree angle? Like this? Wait, that's the bed. And the patient is sitting upright. So that is a 90-degree angle and the patient is in high Fowler's for a paracentesis because this allows for pooling of the fluid. We're letting gravity help us out here so that we can drain out all the fluid. Okay? But NCLEX, be very careful because they might say patient is in a chair with feet supported or something like that. Would that also be a correct answer, you guys? Yeah, it would. Because in a chair, you're sitting upright as well, and that's going to allow gravity to help out with pooling of the fluid. So just be very careful with that kind of stuff. Okay. Number 4, SIMS for soap suds enema administration. Okay, is this a correct position? What is SIMS? SIMS is also another name for what, guys? It's my favorite because no one uses it. Left lateral recumbent. Imagine saying that on the floor. Can you help me put my patient in left lateral recumbent? Yeah, right. Okay, so SIMS for soap suds enema. This is a correct answer, you guys. You know why? Because if we have the patient on the left side, and this is the right leg that goes up. So the left is straight, and this is the right leg that's up, and they're lying flat. The arm is probably like that. This allows easy access to the anus and it allows the enema solution to flow easily into the sigmoid colon as well as the descending colon, and that's why number 4 is correct. Now let's look at number 5, supine position after a lumbar puncture. Supine position. So that's kind of like what I had up here. So the patient is flat, which is super important, after a lumbar puncture. Is that correct? And yes, it is. Number 5 is a correct answer because any patient that gets a lumbar puncture, they have a risk for what? Decreased cerebral spinal fluid, and that puts them at risk for what is called a spinal headache. So we want the patient to be lying flat like this for about 4 to 8 hours. Okay, so the correct answers here are 1, 4, and 5. Woohoo, good job, you guys. Yeah.